earmarked a revitalized commitment to support good governance, human capital development with a focus on health, education, social protection, economic recovery, and poverty reduction for the state. And moving on quickly to the next paper here, which is the Guardian newspaper. On the cover page, it says that Dr. Choma Uwankama Akano says there is a lot of marginalization when it comes to women's health. And this you would find on the Guardian newspaper. There is a lot of marginalization when it comes to women's health. And also in the news, troops neutralize 4 insurgents, rescue 11 kidnapped victims in Kaduna. Troops neutralize 4 insurgents, rescue 11 kidnapped victims in Kaduna. And the next here says that NECA sees alcoholic sachet ban as economic sabotage. NECA, that is the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, has described the ban of alcoholic drinks in sachet and PET bottles by NAFDAC as an act of economic sabotage and an attempt to pull businesses operating in the sector into an economic abyss. Next story says that the federal government boosts digital literacy in Owerri, Maiduguri, and Abeokuta. The federal government boosts digital literacy in Owerri, Maiduguri, and Abeokuta, and this is being done through its Build-a-thon initiative organized by the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation, and Digital Economy. The initiative aimed at introducing senior secondary school students to embedded systems and maker culture was held across 3 Nigerian cities, and that is Owerri, Maiduguri, and Abeokuta. And now let's move on to the Leadership newspaper, and let's see what's happening right there on the cover stories. Here the first says that theft of farm produce spreads across Nigeria. Theft of farm produce spreads across Nigeria. Apparently, food insecurity in Nigeria could get significantly worse as criminal elements now engage in large-scale theft of farm produce just days and sometimes hours before farm owners come to harvest their crops. The scale of theft is different across states of the country, while farmers in southern states have to deal with petty thieves. The desperation, hunger, and insecurity in the north creates the atmosphere for large-scale criminality. And this particular story can be found on the Leadership newspaper. Theft of farm produce spreads across Nigeria. And the next story here says that Fubara meets German Vice Consul General on investment. Fubara meets German Vice Consul General on investment. And then the next story here says, in regards to rising cost of living, it says that brides to be in northern Nigeria feel the pinch. Brides to be in northern Nigeria feel the pinch. And this, looking at the foreign point here on the Leadership newspaper, it says that in regards to Israel-Gaza war, the United States wants Israel on Rafah offensive. The United States have warned Israel that staging a military offensive into Gaza's southern city of Rafah without proper planning would be a disaster. Some 1.5 million Palestinians are surviving in the city, bothering Egypt in dire humanitarian conditions. And the White House said it will not support major operations without due consideration for the refugees that are there. And still on the foreign scene as well, in regards to Gaza, anxiety mounts as Israel plans assault on Rafah. Anxiety mounts as Israel plans assault on Rafah. That is, the international community, including the United States, has expressed worries about the plan by Israel to attack Rafah to eliminate remnants of Hamas, a move that will put the lives of over 1.5 refugees at risk. Now, let's quickly head on to the Daily Trust. And also on the Daily Trust, on the top story, you'd find the same story that we had seen on the Punch newspaper that says that EFCC declares Emefiele's wife wanted. EFCC declares Emefiele's wife wanted. And the next story here says that Port Harcourt refinery to begin operations receives 475,600 barrels of oil. 475,600 barrels of oil has been received by the Port Harcourt refinery that is set to begin operations. And now, in regards to Ramadan, which is the next story, it says that look out for Shaban Moon. Sultan urges Muslims. Look out for Shaban Moon. Sultan urges Muslims. And now, in regards to the economic hardship, here there's a story that says that youth stage peaceful protest in Osun. Youth stage peaceful protest in Osun. And now the next story says that Governor Rada tells Katsina residents to defend themselves. Governor Rada tells Katsina residents to defend themselves. And the next story says that World Bank asks government to invest in education. World Bank asks government to invest in education. Another similar story here, as compared to the Punch newspaper, says that in regards to hardship, 1,500 pensioners die. Others plan protest. 1,500 pensioners die. Others plan protest. No fewer than 1,500 members of Nigeria Union of Pensioners have lost their lives to the current hardship and high cost of living that have enveloped the country in the last few months. This is as members of the union who are still alive vow to protest naked in the streets of the Federal Capital Territory if they were not included in the recently constituted 37-man committee on minimum wage negotiation. The president of the NUP, Comrade Godwin Abumisi, who disclosed this to newsmen in Abuja, wondered why they would be excluded from a critical committee like minimum wage committee. Let's see what more stories we can lay our hands on right here on the Daily Trust. Another story here says that Malami reviews why Mahdi Shehu was arrested. Malami, that is the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, a senior advocate of Nigeria, has explained that a whistleblower, Mahdi Shehu, was arrested for attempted extortion. Apparently, on Saturday, that's today, it was reported that Shehu's claim through his lawyer, Mohammed Abubakar, that he was arrested on Tuesday in Abuja for calling on President Bola Tinubu to probe former President Muhammadu Buhari and some of his top officials. A statement from Malami's firm, signed by A.A. Sheriff, a lawyer, alleged that Shehu was arrested in Kaduna when he tried to take advantage of his wife, Aisha, for a sum of $500,000. Now let's move on quickly to the next paper, and that is the Vanguard newspaper. Here it says on the cover page that housing for the poor suffers setback as dollarization hits real estate sector. Housing for the poor suffers setback as dollarization hits real estate sector. And also moving on to the next story, it says that Imo communities hire auxiliary boys hunters for protection. Imo communities hire auxiliary boys hunters for protection. And this comes with two riders that says that residents say we now live in fear of kidnappers, and the monarch says that my subjects no longer go to farm for fear of being kidnapped. And the next story here says that Archbishop Chukwuma says, in the course of shooting, I fell down, corpses fell on me. In the course of shooting, I fell down and corpses fell on me. And this was said by Archbishop Chukwuma. And it comes with a rider that says, Archbishop Chukwuma says Nigeria owes Asaba people, Easterners, apology. And another writer says, talks about life in retirement. And that is the Emeritus Archbishop of Enugu Anglican Diocese, that is Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel Chukwuma, who penultimate week retired from priesthood, speaks about his 44 years priesthood, how he escaped the Asaba genocide, and what should be done for Nigeria to return to its lost glory. The next story here says that Miss Japan gives up crown over affair with married man amid backlash over birthplace. And the next story, which is quite important, and it says that in regards to 2024, Ayedatiwa camp knocks ex-finance commissioner over endorsement claim. Ayedatiwa camp knocks ex-finance commissioner over endorsement claim. And now let's quickly take a look at the Nation newspaper so that we can get up to speed with analyzing and also checking out most of these particular stories. And on the Nation newspaper, we can see here that Fashola urges landlords to collect monthly rents. Fashola urges landlords to collect monthly rents. Fashola Babatunde Fashola, who is the former Works and Housing Minister, has called for the review of tenancy laws in states to compel landlords to collect rent monthly. The next story says lone accident claims 4 lives on Shagamu Benin Expressway. Lone accidents claim 4 lives on Shagamu Benin Expressway. No fewer than 4 persons were confirmed dead on Friday in a lone accident involving a Toyota Camry car at area J3 on the Shagamu Benin Expressway. The spokesperson, Mrs. Flores Okwe, Federal Road Safety Corps in Ogun, confirmed the incident to newsmen in Abeokuta, and she explained that the accident occurred at 11:40 a.m. and was caused by excessive speed on the part of the driver, which led to loss of control. And the next story says that a mob set suspected rapist ablaze in Benue community. Mob set suspected rapist ablaze in Benue community. And the next one here, in regards to Edo Global poll, Labour Party adjust date for primaries. Labour Party adjust date for primaries, and this is followed by one rider that says increases number of delegates, and that is Labour Party increases number of delegates. The Labour Party has approved a slight adjustment in its guidelines ahead of the Edo State governorship primary election. And now, with all of that being, looked at on different newspapers across national dailies, we need to now get up to speed and analyze the certain stories in particular. So far, so good. We've been able to look at the Punch newspaper this day, the Guardian leadership newspaper, Daily Trust, Vanguard, and also the Nation newspaper. Once again, I would implore that you call on 0903 2229797 0903 2229797 to join the conversation this morning. Call in and contribute area opinion, and also you can call on 0818 2222 205 0818 222 and let's go on a very short break. When we are back, I'll be back here with our in-house analyst, and then we can kickstart with the analysis. Do stay tuned, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Citizen 93.7 FM. Yes, welcome back to the Citizen 93.7 FM. Thank you very much for staying tuned, and thank you for being a part of our day today. To also join this conversation, you can join us on our YouTube live right at Citizen FM. Just search for Citizen FM 93.7 and it's going to pop, and then you can watch what happens directly in the studio. It's time to pick certain stories that we should analyze, and this is the point where I bring on Mr. Salman Salami, who is a seasoned journalist and also our in-house analyst, and at the same time he is the Chief Operating Officer for Citizen 93.7. Good morning, sir.
Very good morning to you, my amiable show. And let us thank our super citizen listeners for being there for us.
All right, thank you, our super citizen listeners, for always being a part of our day. Okay, now let's kickstart on the analysis. So far, we've been able to look at Punch newspaper, the This Day newspaper, Daily Trust, and couple others. But, there are specific stories that caught our attention. And one of the stories here says that EFCC declares Emefiele's wife and 3 others wanted. We do know that, the Emefiele, who happens to be the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has been has definitely had cases with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission since his tenure ended, and now his wife Margaret Emefiele and three other people by the name Mr. Eric Odo, Anita Omoile, and her husband Jonathan Omoile were declared wanted Friday night for allegedly conspiring with the former CBN governor to convert huge sums of money belonging to the federal government of Nigeria, and committed felony to it, which states that obtaining money by false pretenses and stealing contrary to and punishable under sections 411, 287 and 314 of the criminal law of Lagos State. And now that's a lot of details, but Mr. Salami, sir, what do you make of this? The arrest and all of that and the plenty stories.
Well, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has been making Nigerians proud. Making us proud in the sense that it has been going after alleged money launderers, those who have held themselves to our common patrimony, and financial criminals, alleged, so to speak. But this is a very, very surprising dimension to it. The declaration of Margaret Emefiele, the wife of the erstwhile Godwin Emefiele, the former CBN governor, wanted. She was declared wanted alongside three others, Eric Udo and Omohili and his wife.
Yeah.
This is not funny at all. Well, it is an allegation. And we always say here at Citizen FM that suspicion, no matter how strong, remains what it is. You need to provide evidence. Let them have their days or their day in court. Allow the rule of law to triumph and charge them to court on time. Let them know in clear terms the offenses they are alleged to have committed, and give them a fair trial, not media trial. We have been saying it here that whoever is arrested for any alleged offense, the person should be charged to court, and the person should be allowed to defend himself, and fair hearing should prevail. It is when we do this that we are deepening our democracy. The normal thing is for Nigerians, for some Nigerians to be happy that yes, the husband and the wife are now facing the trial. No, we will not look at it at that. As Citizen FM, we have been saying it that we will be critical. If there is the need to be critical, we will not be hostile. And we are for democracy. Democracy should thrive in this part of the world. But before democracy thrives, we must learn to respect the rule of law.
All right, thank you very, very much for that one, sir. Apparently, it says that the EFCC said Emefiele's alleged action was a violation of certain section, and also the amended charge sheet contains a total of 20 counts against Emefiele. But then let's move on quickly to the next one, as we have seen and we've boldly seen that they just alleged to arrest Emefiele's wife and couple of them, not even to arrest. It's an alleged. It's just they being wanted and for committing certain felony, and then the details of the alleged money laundering offenses have actually been revealed by the EFCC in a mugshot portrait. And now the next story that we are looking at here on the Punch newspaper as well says that the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, that is the NUP, laments low monthly pension and advocates reform. The NUP laments low monthly pension and advocates reform. And also, in line with the same story, I believe that looking at I think it was the Vanguard newspaper that said that 1,500 pensioners have died, and they're also looking at a protest. They're also looking at organizing a protest because the pensioners that are the retirees in some states receive as low as 450 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira as a monthly pension. With the economic issues happening in Nigeria, Mr. Salami, what do you make of this? Because in Nigeria, according to the NUP, they said that the government does not think about the poor people. Otherwise, how can pensioners in Enugu receive as low as 450 naira as a monthly pension? We have been saying this, but it seems as if we are crying wolf, but it is a reality.
Well, it's still unfortunate, very unfortunate. It's very sad. It's even tragic when we look at the fact that these were people who, during their youthful time, had spent their time in the service of this country. This is the time for them to rest. This is the time for them to sit back and enjoy the so-called labors, to enjoy the fruits of their labor. This is the time. And the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, to now say that to now have to come out and cry loud that some of them receive as low as 450 naira. Some others 500 naira, and also very many too 1,000 naira. Come off it. What on earth, for goodness sake, can you do with 450 naira? Even not a toddler. Will you give such a money to do what? To buy sweet or toffee in the face of inflationary trend in Nigeria? I want the federal government to please come to the aid of the pensioners. Like I said, their useful years was spent in the service, and this is the time for them to sit back and enjoy what is left in their lives before they answer the final call. Well, let us prioritize decency. Let us appreciate hard work. Let us reward patriotism. Clearly, it means that while they were in active service, they did not steal, they did not embezzle, and they did not help themselves to our common patrimony. What message are we sending to the younger ones? Are we now telling them that it is better you steal, or you cut corners, or you engage in vices while you are working? In the active years, you're supposed to give the country your best, which I want to believe these people did. Is it a crime to serve one's country? Should one be punished for being honest? And is this the reward for hard work and patriotism? I think the answer is no. It is on this note that we plead with the federal government to come to the aid of the retirees, and the time to do it is now.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Talking about the retirees and also good work. There's a story here about the troops, and also in regards to the post-traumatic disorder, that is PTSD. The Defense Headquarters had actually said that it had set up a post-traumatic stress disorder centers for troops across the various theater of operations. And then, it still said the same thing, that the centers were established to checkmate the mental health of troops engaged in the ongoing fight against insecurity. First of all, I think I should even start with, asking you, Mr. Salami, what exactly is your own thought on PTSD?
Well, how do we start to discuss the PTSD, which in normal parlance is post-traumatic stress disorder? You see, I keep on telling whoever cares to listen that the Nigerian security agencies, the army especially, should please prioritize the welfare of the soldiers. These people are going through a very, very hard time. To be on the war front is not a joke. Quite many of them have been in the theaters of war in the last 3 years. In the bush, in the trenches, just to ensure that there is peace in Nigeria. Just to ensure that you and I, we sleep with our eyes closed. Honestly, we should appreciate the troops. Thank God that our man, the Chief of Defense Staff, especially General Chris Musa, who is the Chief of Defense Staff, is such a man who is God-fearing. He has signed off his life. This man is not only a consummate soldier, but a robust patriot. And he has told Nigerians that he will not allow the bandits and the kidnappers to have their way. 2 days ago, he gave a warning. It was a form of riot act. He said, you either surrender or you get neutralized. That there are no three ways about it. We will neutralize you or you surrender. It only means that the man is not giving excuses and is totally and unrepentantly committed to making Nigeria great, to having peace in this country. Why would we not appreciate what he's doing in the area of PTSD to ensure that the unintended consequence of staying too long at the battlefield is taken care of? Because this is the concomitant, or what this is the result of being at the war front for a long time. Ill health, mental health
challenges,
cases, challenges. It should be addressed, because this happened to these people as a result of their trying to make sure that there is peace in this country. No amount is too much to spend on this to ensure that we retain or maintain or sustain the sanity of our troops, of our soldiers. This is the least the country can do for them.
You know, PTSD is a psychiatric disorder that, you know, may occur in people who have experienced or witnessed a traumatic event, series of events, or set of circumstances. And according to the Punch newspaper, you know, a series of backlog stories that were stated here said on Tuesday, a soldier identified as CPL James Kingsley, attached to Team 3 of Operations Adarin Daji in Sokoto, killed his colleague and went on a shooting spree against several others. Kingsley was, however, gunned down by one of his colleagues while shooting sporadically at them. And on January 15, 2024, personnel of the Nigerian Army, identified as Buyi Thank killed himself. And Thank who is of the standby force and attached to the headquarters of 35 Artillery Brigade in Abuja, was said to have shot himself at a duty shade. And, you know, so many other stories as well. But I do pray that may their soul rest in peace. And also, as Mr. Salami has reiterated, we do applaud the defense headquarters, you know, for setting up this center for, you know, these troops across the various theaters of operations. And now, it's not too late to join the conversation and also air your own opinions and ask questions. You can call 0903 2229 793, 0903 2229 797, or 0818 205, 0818 205. And now moving on quickly to the next story that we need to, you know, probably analyze and also look into. The headline says that Lagos, Federal Capital Territory, Kano, top list of 614,051 arrested traffic offenders. Lagos State, Federal Capital Territory, and Kano has made the top list of 614,051 arrested traffic offenders. And this, you know, was said by the Federal Road Safety Corps. And, you know, it's not just these 3 states, but a couple others with different datas, with different figures. And now, Mrs. Salami, what do you think about this? What's your analysis? What's your viewpoint on this?
Well, I still want to thank God for this administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because the first law, even in the jungle, is that of order. There must be order. And we must respect our laws. We must not live above the law or think that we are above the law. We are under the law, and all of us must be subjected to the rule of law. We must be orderly. Traffic offense is a criminal offense. We must obey the laws, the traffic laws, and other laws. In actual fact, you will see that the states mentioned were Lagos, Kano, and FCT, among others, by the Federal Road Safety Corps. Especially FCT, where you have so many ogas at the top. They think that when they get to the traffic point, they hardly wait, whether it is amber or red. They just feel that yes, my oga cannot wait. is above the law, is in a hurry, must get to the airport on time. If you know that you are going to the airport, why didn't you leave the house early?
True.
Why? The bottom line is this: it is not to impunity. The impunity in the land is too much. Nigerians should learn to respect the law. Laws are law. We are ruled by law, and we should allow the laws of the land. We should respect the laws of the land, and there must be consequence. Any violation of the law must be met with punishment. Not until that. We cannot just continue to do things as we want. Don't let us resort to what Hobbes called the Obesian state. We are man eat man.
Okay.
The rule of the brute, the survivor of the fittest. That is not good for man. We are human beings. We should respect law. We should be orderly, and we should do things well. And there must be consequence for any violation of the law.
All right, thank you very much. As Mr. Salami has spoken, we should respect the law. It's very, very much important. And now this is a time for us to bring this to a close. Thank you very much, Mr. Salami, for the insights and for your contributions and point of view on this stories. I'm very sure our super citizens are listening and they've taken down certain pointers. Going forward, let us be obedient, especially when it comes to traffic. No more offending, because for every time you beat the traffic, it is automatically recorded, and I'm very sure that the officials on duty might also pose an arrest at that point in time. So let's be good citizens of the country. And thank you very much, Mr. Salami, for being available as per usual. I really do appreciate your time.
It's a pleasure being here, and we are here for the citizen.
All right, thank you. And to all those listening right now, thank you very much. Do have a wonderful Saturday morning, and do stay tuned to more coming up here on Citizen 93.7. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good morning.